Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, I love it. Well, I'm Jeff White, and I serve on the Fellowship Board of Directors. And a big welcome to everybody here, whether you're in person or you're online. We're really glad to have you this morning. And whether you're a newcomer or you've been with us a while, thanks. Good to be here. We're doing some new things on Sunday morning, as I guess everybody's noticed. 9 to 9:30, we have First Fellowship right here in the Fellowship Hall. From 9:30 to 10:30, we have Religious Education and Coffee Fellowship. And at 10:30, of course, we have this full service. If you have any questions, need some more details on this, please check the website at uufames.org or with the fellowship table, or the fireside table. You know, the welcome table in the fireside room. Woo! Too many adjectives. We are a multi-generational congregation, which means that all ages are welcome here. So if you hear some sounds from us old folk or from the young folk, well, that's just part of being part of the community. Now, if you're new to us, you can get more information by signing our virtual guest book, either by using the QR code in our bulletin or at the welcome table. And if you're here with us online, you can join our Zoom coffee hour after the service. And you can go to the uufames.org website and click on the button to join. If you're here in person, we'll have more conversation after this service. But next week, please come back before the full service for coffee and treats and talk. And now we have one announcement. The Fellowship's Gallery and the Round Committee hopes you're enjoying our new art exhibit. It's titled Art by Committee, and it features present or past committee members. Yeah. Dennis Drake, Fred Villier, Susan Norris, and Bob Anders. A casual reception will be held this coming Friday, February 13th from 5 to 7 p.m., and everybody is welcome. Thanks for being with us today.
Our call to fellowship this morning is by Kathleen McTeague. We come together this morning to remind one another to rest for a moment on the forming edge of our lives, to resist the headlong tumble into the next moment until we can claim for ourselves awareness and gratitude, taking the time to look into one another's faces and see their communion, the reflection of our own eyes. This house of laughter and silence, memory and hope is hallowed by our presence together. You'll now see the chalice lighting on the screen, and this morning it's a call and response where I will start and you will join in where it says congregation. We light this chalice for the quiet truths we carry and for the futures we're brave enough to write.
In this circle,
We honor the courage it takes to live openly, the softness that sustains us, and the joy and power that grow when we gather. As the chalice glows, may we feel steadiness rise in us. May we trust that our becoming, messy, radiant, unfolding, wholly belongs to us.
Now please rise and join us in singing Morning Has Come.
Well, what a joy to be all oxygenated and singing together. Wow. It is a special day today, and it's a special day on Thursday of this coming week, thank you, February 12th. We will celebrate the 217th birthday of Charles Darwin. 217 years old. And I have to tell you, we have a very special treat, looking very good for 217 years old. Mr. Darwin is here with us this morning. Mr. Darwin has come to share some thoughts with us. I'm going to turn the microphone over to you and grab my script because I need a script.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Darwin, we are speaking to our young people here today, and I know you have a few things to say. Do you have any preamble that you would like to share before you start? Please, assume the position.
I am pleased and honored to be Charles Darwin for you all today. But as is perfectly obvious, I am also Mike Potigal, the husband of Rev Kelli. How will you know who I am? The hat will tell the story. When I wear the hat, I'm Charles Darwin. With the hat off, I'm Mike Potigal.
Well, Mr. Darwin, stay right here, please. Please. We are speaking to our young people today. Perhaps you would put your hat on and assume the character of Mr. Darwin. We would like to know what were some of your interests as a boy? What were you like? What did you like to think about?
As a boy, I was very interested in plants and animals. My dad liked botany, and so I grew some plants with him. But what I liked most was investigating animal life. And I liked collecting things, especially beetles. There are all sorts of different beetles, and I was fascinated by the difference among them, the whole range of shapes and sizes. And I wondered, how did this come to be?
Well, what did you wonder about? What did that make you think of?
Well,
There must have been a great range of animals.
yes, indeed. And I thought of the various forms of animals that had been bred by farmers.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So but you went to medical school, did you not? How did you like medical school?
I hated it.
Well, I would have thought, as smart as you are, you would have been a very good student.
Oh, the lectures were so boring. And the surgery was unpleasant. Anesthesia, to put people to sleep when they're operated on, was 25 years in the future. When Darwin was in medical school, he really didn't like it.
Oh, well, I'm so glad you got out of that. So what did you do instead of medical school?
My father, who had sent me to medical school, realized I was not going to stick it. And so when I asked him to pay for a berth on the HMS Beagle, a ship that would go out and sail and do naturalistic studies, he was willing to do that. So I set forth on the Beagle.
Oh, there's the Beagle. Were you on the ship the whole time?
Fortunately not.
You went all the way around the world, right?
It went to many places, including the Galapagos Islands off South America. And I spent more time off the ship investigating things on the land than I actually did on the ship.
Well, tell us about what did you find there that was so interesting?
Well, I had learned as a boy about fossils, which made me wonder about the existence of species, because what I had heard on one hand, the Noah Ark story, suggested that species were immutable, lasted forever, each of a kind that lasted forever. So what could fossils be? The bones of animals that were no longer here? How could that be?
And
when I disembarked from the Beagle, I saw for myself the bones of all these animals that no longer existed along the shoreline. And once on a venture inland, I came across a strange skull I had never seen before. Boys were pitching stones at it. And so I asked the farmer on whose land it was, could I buy the skull? And he said, sure. I had no idea what it was, but I lashed it to my saddle and rode all the way back to the ship. And when I brought the skull back to England, an anatomist friend of mine identified it as the skull of a toxodon, an ancient pig which was long extinct. So fossils are real. Animals existed once upon a time, and no longer did. How did that happen? How did species arise and disappear?
How indeed did that happen, Mr. Darwin? Perhaps we have a slide that could tell us more about that.
Ah, yes, indeed. I remembered now about the breeding of different species, which this slide happens to show. For example, dogs, with which we are entirely familiar in their great range and variety, were originally domesticated from an extinct species of gray wolf. There are still gray wolves. The origin species is no longer with us. So from one animal, we get many forms. Similarly, our chickens, which come in many forms, were domesticated from jungle fowl species, which is still with us in Southeast Asia and many zoos. And the various forms of cattle we have were developed from the wild aurochs. So species can change in shape and form and size and color. The question is, how do they do that in nature?
Are you going to answer that now, Mr. Darwin, or maybe when we come back?
Patience is a virtue, so I'm told.
Mr. Darwin, you'll be back with us in a few moments. Thank you. Thank you. Collect your thoughts. Collect your thoughts. It is the motto of our family, no joke too cheap. So we are happy to welcome you into that with us as well. Each week when we gather, we share our time and talent and treasure. It is the practice of this fellowship that we take a collection each week, and half of the non-pledge offering goes to an organization outside the fellowship walls that shares our values, and the other half stays here to help us create the kind of programming and community that we are. It is my true honor for us to be doing a collection for United Theological Seminary of the Twin Cities, my alma mater, and also the alma mater of Reverend Brian and Reverend AJ. 3 of your ministers were trained by United Theological Seminary of the Twin Cities. It is an ecumenical seminary, and always the Unitarian Universalist students are among the highest census at the seminary. It trains a tremendous number of Unitarian Universalist ministers all around the country. They do it remotely now, and they prepared me well to be present as your minister here. They focus on a really beautiful combination of justice and the arts, just like you do. Justice and the arts. So when we contribute to a Unitarian Universalist scholarship fund at United Theological Seminary of the Twin Cities, we are seeding our values out into the world to future ministries and congregations that we will never see. It is a true gift of our belief in our values that we are able to donate and support Unitarian Universalist students there. As always, we're going to pass the baskets here in Fellowship Hall, and you can give online if you would like. And if you're visiting with us today, please know that your presence is gift enough. And now, the choir.
The sadness flows like rivers deep inside. We need each other in these trying times. So circle round each other side by side, and may we heal these wounds together, bringing love to hold the pain. We know we will not live forever, so what kind of world will we build today? So many living under fear and strife, so much injustice that must face the light. The anger burns like fire deep inside. We bleed each other for the long, long ride. So circle around each other side by side, and may we heal these wounds together, bringing love to hold the pain. We know we will not live forever, so what kind of world will we build today? Nobody knows just what the future holds, but if we try to live our principles, a loving world is more than possible. And though we have a long way to go, the circle round each other and we'll grow, and may we heal these wounds together, bringing love to hold the pain. We know we will not live forever, so what kind of world will we build today? So what kind of world will we build today?
Malkia Cyril is a poet and a grief worker and an activist who wrote this. From water, I have learned to move around and past fixed objects to reach my goal. From our winged kindred, I have learned there are times to swarm, and such a swarm can take down even the largest and cockiest predator. But the most important lesson of all for me has been how history embeds in every living thing. The land speaks to me of a much longer time frame than the one my body understands. It reminds me that our generational fights are passed down like legacy. The earth, the way it spins under our feet, changing while no one is looking, reminds me that what we win today can be gone tomorrow, and what we lose today can be won tomorrow. The only constant is change. That is nature's greatest lesson to me, that change is inevitable and time is unfathomable. It means that I can keep going when all seems to fail and fall around me. Nature is my source of faith. Malkia Cyril. When we gather, we take some time to recognize that we fail and fall forward, that we lift each other up in joy, and we hold each other in sorrow, and we surround ourselves by art and music, and we recognize that life is better in community than it is in isolation. That I need not have all the answers and I'd better not try. That you bring your wisdom and joy and sorrow and sense of humor and love and knowledge, and all of it together, we create this beautiful matrix of community. We take time to share our joys and sorrows. We have a few things to share this week. Amber Anderson and Titus Klinge have been working toward becoming foster or adoptive parents and recently received their certificate of license from the state of Minnesota. Pardon? Yeah. State of Iowa. What did I say? Minnesota? Man, that tells you something about where my head is, the state of Iowa. We celebrate with you and the young one who will be fortunate enough to be a part of your family. We celebrate with people who are recovering. Dennis Dake had 2 diabetic comas this week, and here you are today after a couple of stints some time in the hospital, recovering well, singing in the choir with your exquisite artwork on the back wall. Wow, thank you. Our choir is full of recovery. Mary Darrow will not be stopped by a knee. You're healing well. We're so glad to see you getting around. And many of you have asked, and I'm so happy to say that my mom, watching today, is feeling much better. She's home. She's recovering. She and Dad are working out the new normal, and I felt quite confident and in leaving them this week. So I was appreciative of the time to be away to attend to that family issue. So thank you for your good care and good thoughts. We have very much felt it. This is the time that we have some shared quiet space, and we lift up into this shared space the names of individuals or groups of people that we are holding in our hearts, that we want to extend our love to. So let's do that into our shared space.
Alderman Sultans. Reverend Kelli.
Immigrants.
Victims of Jeffrey Epstein.
Healthcare workers. LGBTQ folks. All people who are afraid to leave their homes, to go to work, to go to school. People who live in fear. And we lift up love for the people who are protecting their community members. For all that is spoken and unspoken, we practice this movement of opening our hearts, knowing that we cannot hold it alone. It will break us if we try to hold it alone. But together, with this beautiful, intricate net, web that we carry, we hold it together. We're going to sing this song 4 times. Pick it up when you know it, or allow yourself to be sung to. The first time, I hope we'll sing it to ourselves. This is the song that they're singing in Minneapolis together. Hold on, my dear one, here comes the dawn. Sing to each other. Hold on, hold on, my dear ones, here comes the dawn to all the neighbors. Hold on, hold on, my dear ones, here comes the dawn to all the world. Hold on, my dear ones, here comes the We have a song in our teal hymnal. There are a few of them out. If you like it, you may not need it. But we're singing this song kind of in place of a reading today. When Paul Gauguin was in Tahiti, a French Impressionist painter, and he painted this beautiful, large painting in 1897-98. And there are three groups of women, and if you read them from right to left, they are a group of women around a baby, and a woman standing in the center, and then a group of women around one woman at the end of her life. And the title is, Where Do We Come From? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? And I think those questions, those three questions, are the ones that science and religion and all of us as living humans wrestle with. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Those are the questions that we wrestle with. And so Brian Tate, a songwriter, set it to music and put it in our hymnal. And so we're going to sing this. We're going to sing each line two times. We're going to learn it. And then we'll come back and we'll sing one line at a time, or you can pick the one you want and stay on it. It's going to be a glorious train wreck, all in one key. It'll work out just as it's meant to. So help get us started here. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where do we come from? Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? That's very nice. Mr. Darwin, what would you have to tell us about adaptability and change? That's our conversation, is about adaptability and change. And so it is a mystery that we can get in and mess around in and try to solve. Isn't science and perhaps religion about living in the questions? And when we find an answer, it lifts up more questions for us. Please come back and talk to us about what you've learned about how what you learned on the Beagle about species made you think again about breeding. Oh, wait just a minute. You really prefer to have your own slides, don't you? You really prefer to advance your own slides, don't you?
Sure.
Help a guy out, Sarah. 217 years old, he keeps up with technology. It's pretty good. All right, we got that? All right, there you go, forward. Yeah, okay, there you go. Tell us what you learned. Maybe there's something about some birds or...
For 217 years, technology is a challenge. Aha, I've mastered it.
So how...
The slide we saw before about the different forms of animals that have been bred were bred by people who deliberately made choices about what sorts of animals they wanted to have. Darwin himself messed about with pigeons and bred different sorts of pigeons, but he could have just pointed to the slide.
Tell us what these finches tell us. Oh, many things here. Yeah.
Okay. The answer came to me and to the world through the finches on the Galapagos Island, because what I and my fellow scientists learned was that on each of the Galapagos Islands, where the Beagle moored, there were a particular species of finch, and each finch was different, and in particular, their beaks were different because they fed on different things. And so what this picture shows is the heavy beaks over here belong to birds which had evolved to crunch seeds. The pointy beaks up there belong to finches that had learned to probe in crevices for insects. And the grasping, this particular beak was adapted for by birds that finches that evolved to eat fruit. So the conclusion from that was that spontaneous changes in what we now know is the DNA, the substance of the genome, undergoes mutations. And on those rare occasions when the mutations are beneficial and provide another opportunity, increase the resilience or the adaptability of the species, there is evolution to originate, or that's the origin of the species, is natural selection that is profiting from these random mutations.
Boy, it sounds like you got everything exactly right about those finches.
I'm more than a little embarrassed. First of all, they're not Darwin's finches. That label came way later. And I didn't recognize that they were all finches. I mislabeled them. And worse than that, I did not even record which finch came from which island. Everybody makes mistakes, but fortunately, my friend John Gould, who was an ornithologist, came and saw all of the finches and explained to me exactly what it is I had discovered.
So Origin of the Species, that's kind of a catchy title. Did you use that in some way?
I believe I did. That's the name of one of the books.
Oh, thought we were getting to that. Okay.
Okay, but the question that you're about to ask me is, what is some of the most essential evidence, the crucial evidence that species evolved and one changes into another? And the answer to that question is the existence of transition forms, forms which have aspects of the old species. At the same time, they have features and characteristics of the new species. And when this happens, when transition forms can be found between major classes of animals, that is some of the most convincing evidence. I do need some water.
Okay. So we have Tiktaalik and Archaeopteryx.
Okay, let me.
Okay.
Yes.
We're gonna
pick it up. I'm picking it up. Okay. So, three transitional forms. Tiktaalik, 375 million years ago, is a fish that stepped out onto the land. And to do that, it had not only gills, but lungs. It had fins, but in those fins were actual bones, much like the bones in our forearms. And fish can't move their heads independently. They have no neck. The head is connected to the body. This animal had a neck and could move its head around independently for the first time in the kingdom of animals. Archaeopteryx, 150 million years ago, is a flying dinosaur. You can't quite see, but in that beak, there are teeth. At the ends of its arm bones, which have become wings, there are still claws. And that tail is not feathers. It's an actual bony tail. So we have a transitional form from dinosaurs to birds. My favorite is Ardipithecus. We know from the bones of Ardipithecus that it walked upright. We can tell that from the structure of the hips. But look at the feet. You can't get that in a fry boot. Those toes are still made for tree climbing. A transitional form in our own lineage of hominins.
Wow, that's amazing. And then did you put this in a book?
Yeah. In Origin of Species.
I'm gonna run your slides.
All right.
Wrong way. There we go.
Right. In Origin of Species, I've set forth the theory of evolution, of mutation and natural selection. But I was a little too scared to talk much about people.
Aha.
But then we have this evidence for human evolution. This is Australopithecus striding into Homo sapien. And here you see some of the forms of the hominin lineage including Australopithecus, which some of you may know as Lucy from 3 million years ago, one of the earliest hominin forms, and then Homo erectus preceded us by 1 million years, but set forth from Africa and colonized much of the rest of the world and invented fire while doing so. Heidelbergensis is our now thought to be most likely immediate predecessor. But we know for a fact that Neanderthals are a sister species with which we coexisted. And in fact, I believe that everybody in this room has about 4% of Neanderthal DNA inside each of you.
So you went on to study you published this, right? Talk about this.
Yes. So then I got the courage several years later to say that evolution, that we too evolved. And so The Descent of Man was subsequently published after Origin of Species.
So I know that you in particular are interested, you, Dr. Potigal, are interested in particular in facial expressions and how humans across the globe, humans through all time, have these facial expressions. Perhaps you could do a little experiment with this study group that you have right here.
Let's see. How about you all show me an expression of anger? Oh, come on. Anger.
Really, anger.
There we go. How about you show me an expression of sadness? Oh, yes. It's all right. Now show me an expression of surprise. And finally, show me an expression of joy. Excellent. Well, as Darwin was extremely interested in these manifestations of emotion, and he was in communication, written communication with people all over the world, and asked them what they saw when they visited with different peoples and different cultures in different areas of the world. And so concluded that their expressions were common, the same expressions were common across everybody, across all samples of humanity. And Paul Ekman was a psychologist of some decades ago who went to study the four people of New Guinea and found that he was interested in their expressions, but there were not words in their language like our emotion words. So he made up social situations and said, how would you look if you were about to fight, or your child had died, or you met friends? And you can see that they are comparable expressions to the ones that we have just expressed here. So there is a universality to this, which Darwin then pointed out in the similarity between the expressions of emotion-related expressions of animals and people. And that was one of his last works.
So how was all this received, Mr. Darwin? And were you the only one who was working on this at the time?
No. As a matter of fact, I was in contact with my friend and colleague, Alfred Russel Wallace, and I knew that he was thinking along the same lines. And as I was actually writing Origin of Species, he sent me a piece of his writing that had the same ideas. I was shocked and that we were so aligned. But being a good scientist, I then sponsored the presentation of his version of Origin of Species Natural Selection at the Linnaean Society, which was the major scientific society in England at the time. And in fact, it is true that in the history of science, multiple simultaneous discoveries are more common than not, because there is a logic to people's thinking and reasoning and development within science, so that one step follows another and logical conclusions can be drawn by several people working simultaneously.
So, yeah, it was not, we were received with some mockery.
Yes, this is a picture from a newspaper about Charles Darwin and his silly theory of evolution. But I did not really mind all that much, because I had support, understanding from my scientific colleagues. Gave me great courage.
So this is something, now, just with you, Mike, this is something that we've talked about quite a bit, that science, you've said this to me, and it was enlightening, that science for you has some of the qualities of religion, that as if we think of religion as connective tissue and having a language and so on and so on. Can you say what you mean by that? Because I think this is really key, maybe for many people here.
Yes. Rev Kelli and I have discussed this on many occasions, and it came to me as an active scientist, neuroscientist, that science existed, that I exist within science. It's a much larger enterprise than me. It existed before I came to be. It will continue to exist after I'm gone. And while I'm here, I have a strong sense of community with other like-minded researchers and others all around the world. And in that sense, I think science serves as and is an enterprise, much like religion, for the people who are involved in it. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. I think we're going to, I want to say that Mike will stick around after the service a little bit. If you've got some questions that you want to engage, he'll talk for a long time about it. It's a whole fresh audience. So if you've got particular questions on this, we'd love to have you connect. And I am thinking a lot about what it means for us to be human beings in this moment that requires a new way of thinking for us. How do we adapt to these current times? I dare not say I can't believe what is happening in the world. That stops me from being flexible and allowing it in and saying, yes, what is happening in the world is happening. I wish it weren't. Let me incorporate and then be adaptable and resilient to face the world together. We're going to sing, I think let's just do the first and last verse of All God's Critters. There's 22 verses of it, and I don't know how many slides we have, but let's just do the first and the last today. Please.
Please rise in body and spirit. Join me.
All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing high, some sing out loud on the telephone wires. Some just clap their hands, applause, or anything they got now. Listen to the bass, it's the one on the bottom where the bullfrog roots and the hippopotamus moans and groans with the big to-do. The old cow just goes moo. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing high, some sing out loud on the telephone wires. Some just clap their hands, applause, or anything they got now.
absolutely. We're going to extinguish our chalice now, and those of you at home, if you have a candle or a chalice, you may extinguish it as well. So let's say these words together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
As always, we conclude our service with gratitude. Charles Darwin and my dear husband, thank you so much for being with us. To our musicians, Amber, our accompanist, David Slade over there on bass. To Madison Mayfield, the director of our amazing fellowship voices. Wow, thank you. Our tech team, Titus Klinge and Sam Ossie, our facilitators, Karen Bates and Sarah Carlson, our greeters and ushers and treat bringers and coffee servers and cleanup folks, everyone who helps make this morning happen. We are so grateful for all that you do. These times require a lot of us. Let us build our spiritual core strength for resilience. Let us be flexible and resilient and adaptive, and most of all, together. Choir, will you sing one more song for us, and then we'll go in peace.
While they're all settling, I'll give you the heads up. You'll see me at some point do a little quick turnaround and wave my arms at you. Join in if you know the words, but most of you will.